35 who were given admission in PhD. That was the largest batch of IIM Indore ever. Some 3-4 in operation, 3-4 in marketing, 3-4 in information systems, 3-4 in economics, 4 in organization behavior and HR. And with the grace of Almighty, I am the only one who has been able to complete PhD so far. 34 are still in the system. And of course, I was grilled by a professor from IIM Lucknow. I also teach in IIM Lucknow. From a professor in IIM Kozhikode who were part of when I defended my thesis. Now the first theme is leading a multi-generational workforce. All those who grew up as internet grew, we call them digital natives. Because they have grown up in the age of internet. When I was a kid, I was born in 62. I think when I will cry when I was 3-4 years old, I'm sure my mother would put something, she'll give me some toy or something. Today what happens? If the child cries, you give him a tab, view Mickey Mouse, cartoon or something on the tab. So that is a digital native. That is those who have grown up in the internet age. And persons like me who grew up in a non-internet age, because I was in a Japanese company and I was 10 years into my career when the computer was installed on my table. Today, job तो बहुत दूर की बात है. I think 6th-7th में ही आप कंप्यूटर शुरू कर देते हो, right? So one of the key challenges is leading a multi-generational workforce. Now, India as a country is the youngest country in the world. The median age of India is 28 years. And that is one of our major strengths. We are going to become third largest economy by turn of this decade. Of course, the difference will be huge between us and China. We will be at 5 trillion, China will at that time be 22 trillion and US will be 35 trillion. But even to be at 5 trillion is a very, very formidable challenge. So the asset with us is the human capital. And what's happening in the organization today is that there are 3 generations. The grandfather generation, the 40-45 years old generation, and the young digital natives who are 22, 23, 24 years old. They think completely differently. They act differently. As a HR leader, how do you lead a multi-generational workforce and make best out of this workforce is going to be one of the key challenges of our country. The second part is, as I said, AI is also augmented intelligence. It's artificial intelligence, it's also augmented intelligence. Now someone will say, in every CII, NESCOM, I always say, Modi ji, time has come, create Ministry of AI. We have Ministry of Electronics and IT. Today we need to have a Ministry of AI because there are several economic, technological, social, cultural issues in India which are not there in US, which are peculiar to our country, that only Ministry of AI can handle. Now someone will say, why do we need AI? We have, you are saying we have the youngest country in the world, then why do we use AI? Now we must use AI, but when I talk of augmentation means that we do not take away jobs from people and give it to AI. Now there are certain very routine kind of functions and processes which can be given to AI, which means while I was researching this, I am not naming the companies because there is some kind of a confidentiality clause that I should not name the companies when I speak publicly. This is the largest e-commerce company, and the talent acquisition, there were more than 100 young boys and girls, and all of them were getting mad with the Excel sheets, and the company was hiring thousands. Now if you give them a machine learning algorithm for talent acquisition, 20-30% of their what I call as a donkey work is given to machine learning, their creativity will go up. They can think better, they can think more innovatively, right? So this is the augmentation, which means that we do not take away a job, we take small slice from that job and give it to AI. US will not do it. US will take away the job, give it to AI. India has to think differently, right? So that is the augmentation, and we call it as augmented intelligence. Now, if all of you have to be inspired, let's say you are employees and I am the CEO, if I have to inspire all of you, do you think I should take out my speech from ChatGPT? Yes or no?
Yes, why not?
Yes. Then the speech is not coming from the heart.
No, you should use your intelligence and a hybrid. With
Yeah, correct. So I have to use my intelligence. The speech has to come from my heart.
Yes.
And I have to connect with you in the town hall meeting. You all are sitting in front of me. I am keeping AI away when I am inspiring all of you. But when it comes to talent acquisition process, I am automating it with a machine learning algorithm, which means I am augmenting inspiration with automation.
Sir, AI cannot replace human connect.
Sure, absolutely. AI cannot replace human connect. AI cannot replace inspiration. So this is the first theme. The first was multi-generation workforce. The second thing is automation, augmentation. Always remember, AI also means augmented intelligence. Artificial intelligence, why? Because why artificial? Because we have 86 billion cells in our brain. These are called neurons. And neurons also, if there's a coffee cup here and I touch, what signal brain gives me? Withdraw your hand. So there is a communication which happens between the cells. There are neurotransmitters, and these cells are like a circuit, electrical circuit, and they send a message to the muscle here, withdraw. Now scientists, and we have a misconception that AI is a recent thing. AI started from 1955. That was Industry 3.0, because I also teach Industry 4.0 in various B schools, and I say the time has come for Industry 5.0. When we talk of Viksit Bharat, at that time we will be talking about Industry 5.0, not 4.0. So these artificial neurons are similar to biological neurons. The only difference is the emotive, the emotion, the human connect part. So multi-generational workforce, automation and augmentation together. We automate. In banking we automated. Look how much banking has grown today. When I was young, there was a lot of fear that banks, all employees thought that our jobs will be taken away by computers. Banking has grown manifold. Today SBI is this YONO app, the 5th largest ecosystem, banking ecosystem in the world. HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, they are giant organizations, and we are very proud to have in our country such giant organizations. And today you don't need to go to the branch. Maybe at times Citibank I have never ever visited for the last 15-20 years, maybe 1 or 2 times. That is because of digitalization. So same thing is going to be replicated now with the automation using AI. Okay, so multi-generational workforce, augmented intelligence and automation. The third thing is algorithmic bias. Who designs algorithms? Humans. AI doesn't design AI. Humans design AI. And there is a very infamous case of Amazon, where in a talent acquisition machine learning algorithm, there was a flaw. That algorithm always shortlisted people of a particular race or particular community because of the bias which algorithm got developed. Because you have to train the algorithm just like human being. And this became a very, very unpopular case, and then Amazon withdrew. In such judgments, we cannot give it to AI. We never know. I mean, let's say there's a large public sector which is inducting thousands of youngsters, and you give it to algorithm to shortlist. Who knows algorithm has developed some bias? And you are completely ignoring very, very good. For example, algorithm may only select people with 75% and above. And you have very bright kids who are at 62%, 64%. Because humans have designed algorithm, that design must have been alright. But when it got trained over the months, you train the model again and again and again and again. And the biasing. So you as HR leader have to make sure that there is no algorithmic bias. The fourth theme is algorithmic distribution. How many algorithms in performance management? How many algorithms in talent acquisition? How many algorithms in compensation and benefits? How many algorithms in succession planning? You have to balance it out. Now in factories there are AI driven systems who will even watch your body movements. That's all nonsense. Give people some freedom. People can be innovative and creative only when you give them some freedom. If you start watching their behavior and you are analyzing that 13% unproductive time was there, so be it. Let people be free. Of course, there's a discipline, there are standard operating procedures. People have to work in that framework, but beyond that, give them the freedom. Now, there are three key messages which are extremely important, and when we talk of Viksit Bharat, HR is going to play a very, very important role. Now, let me give you a very small example. In 1992, after liberalization, Dr. Manmohan Singh had gone to Japan, and Fujitsu was a $50 billion company at that time. It's one of the largest computer and telecom company in the world. Only thing is, it's not in the consumer sector, so I had a hard time explaining everybody I've joined Fujitsu. They said Fujitsu का नाम तो नहीं सुना, Sony का तो सुना है. Fujitsu क्या चीज़ है? It's a very, very large company. And at that time, the chairman of Fujitsu promised to Dr. Manmohan Singh that we will be the first ones in that open FDI, 51%. In fact, Fujitsu's equity was 76%. They set up a very large plant in India for digital exchanges. And a lot of Japanese came. My manager was Japanese. My GM was Japanese. Now, interestingly, whenever there will be some tap is leaking, our general manager, Missionary Matsugashi-san, he will say, where is HR? The tap is leaking. I would say, what has HR got to do with that leaking tap? But because at that time, in 90s, we used to associate HR with all Parchun wale kaam. Right? And then HR, my interest in HR was always there. And whenever I would say I want to move to HR, people would say, are you crazy? Technology ka banda hai. I was with Lucent AT&T, handled two products for US market. Why do you want to go to HR? So first thing is that HR is strategic. HR strategy must be aligned with the business strategy. If HR is not aligned with the business, HR should know How many products do we have? Who are our customers? What is the segmentation of the market? Whom are we selling to? What kind of EBITDA we are having? What kind of distribution of customers we are having? If HR doesn't know it, फिर उनका काम वो टैप को ही बंद करने वाला रह जाएगा. HR must know about the business thoroughly end to end, and HR strategy must be aligned with the business strategy. So that is point number one. Point number two, HR must have a seat on the table. आप बोलोगे उनको दिया तो हुआ है, सीट दिया हुआ है बढ़िया. No, not that seat. Seat on the board. Today HR is now in progressive companies, you will see HR is getting a seat on the table. When the board meeting happens, HR director or CHRO or HR head would be there. That is point number two. HR must have a seat on the table. First point was HR strategy must be aligned with the business strategy, and HR must know about the business end to end. Second point is HR must have seat on the table. Third is HR must lead digital transformation within HR. Now in this e-commerce company, what I saw, they had all types of fancy AI in marketing and sales, but there was nothing in HR. Why? Because they were earning their rupees through that sales. They would even, millions of customers, they would know the eating preferences. So HR must drive the digital transformation. Whether it's a talent acquisition, performance management, compensation management, succession planning. And while it drives HR transformation, which is a continuous process, it must stay aligned with the business. अगर HR के किसी employee को business के बारे में नहीं पता, तो she or he is not doing her or his job properly. Must know about the business. I think these are some of the key takeaways. Time has been short. Otherwise, I would have discussed my research findings, which have been published. Maybe I will share it with you. My paper is there, AI in HR, which has been published in one of the top-ranking journals. It is written, co-authored with the professor of IIM, and it is already getting lots of views. It's an open access, so you don't need a license. So you can